I'll be very brief and wrap it up. Bill Grimm, senior attorney with the National Center for Youth Law. 17 years ago, when the legislature created this public health nurse program for children in foster care, it recognized that caseworkers are the experts in safety and permanency. They are not the experts in health care, and that's why we established this program in California 17 years ago. When we established that program 17 years ago, the public health nurses did not have the nature and extent of the responsibilities that they now have, including what we added to them last year in Senate Bill 319 and 238, responsibility for overseeing psychotropic medications. This is a bargain for the state of California. We get a 75% federal return on a 25% investment, and I urge you all to support that additional money for them.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Michelle Gibbons with the County Health Executives Association of California, here in support of the budget augmentation for $1.65 million for public health nurses. And as you already heard, public health nurses play a critical role in the oversight and monitoring of children in foster care. And so this funding would support additional positions to allow them to do so as expanded. The roles were expanded by SB 319. So we just urge your support for that as well.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Christopher Castrillo on behalf of the California Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. I'm here also in support of the public health nurses budget funding request. Small amount of funding would do a lot of good, helps improve the quality of care for our foster youth. And when we talk about quality of care, and we hear a lot about psychotropic medications, both here in this committee and in others, we would like to also, keep in mind that when appropriately prescribed, monitored, these medications have therapeutic, beneficial, and life-changing, and in some instances life-saving effects as well. So with that, we ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Danielle Mollet with the California Alliance of Child and Family Services, representing foster care providers. And we are in support of all of these proposals, supporting our most vulnerable youth.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Jackie Wong with the National Center for Youth Law, in support of the Chafee ETV ask, as well as the pregnancy prevention ask. I also kind of wanted to flag that though we don't have an official position on the commercially sexually exploited children's ask, we want to encourage folks to think about kind of direct services to young people. I've actually been doing this work on the ground level in Alameda when the SEM network was started, and right now we kind of need to focus on services. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Kim Lewis, and I was asked on behalf of Tony Rice with the LA Chamber of Commerce to express their support for Director Browning's Child Care for Foster Children, as well as the Chafee Education and Training Grant Program. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Joe Bonniwell with Housing California, here in support as a co-sponsor of the Bringing Families Home ask. The stated goal of the dependency system is to reunite and stabilize families, and Bringing Families Home really furthers that goal in an economical and sustainable way by minimizing unnecessary foster care placements, reuniting families, and ending the cycle of foster care and homelessness for hundreds of California's families. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Adon Zubiate. I'm a youth advocate with the Volunteers of America Adolfo Transitional Housing Program for former foster youth, and we would like to address the modified eligibility for transitional housing for former foster youth. I'm glad that this proposal is more inclusive of supporting former foster youth population, will give THP Plus programs the ability to offer our services to a larger portion of former foster youth. Adolfo strongly supports this proposal.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Markel Sparks Jeffries. I'm actually a resident at the Laverne Adolfo Transitional Housing Program, and I came to speak upon the modifying eligibility for transitional housing for former foster youth. I have a little sister. She was pregnant, and she was denied of moving in due to that she didn't time out of foster care after she was 18. And I think if I approve this bill, because it would help more former foster youth like her, and it'll help us more better with the problems that we're going through and the situations that we're going through. Because without Laverne Adolfo, I'd be homeless myself, and that program has helped me obtain my guard card, my driver's permit, and a lot of other certificates that really helped me out in life. So thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Alexis Berries. I'm a student at American River College. I'm here in support of the Chafee budget proposal. To be brief, I was awarded the Chafee grant once, and from that I was able to excel academically and complete all my classes. When I wasn't granted the Chafee grant, I found myself having to drop more classes and work more. I'm also here in support of strongly the pregnant and parenting budget as well as the THP proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeannie Cho, and I'm here on behalf of LA County Supervisor Sheila Kuehl to duly note that Philip Browning did a great job, but also to thank Director Lua Lightbourne as well as Greg Rose and the legislature. If the 90s were about welfare reform and the early 2000s about healthcare reform, now is our turn. It's child welfare reform, and thanks to the efforts of Director Lightbourne and the legislative leadership, California is poised to be a leader in the nation on child welfare reform, but it will not succeed unless we address first and foremost the crisis shortage of foster parents in California. In LA County in particular, we have seen a reduction of our foster parents of over half in just the past several years. At the same time, we are seeing an increase in the caseload for foster kids between 0 to 5, and that is primarily because of the lack of access and affordability to child care. So we hope that you will support the Child Care Bridge proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good afternoon. Tim Morrison with Children Now, also here to speak in support of the Bridge Child Care proposal and to add to the comments of the interconnections between the continuum of care reform and the needs to support our caregivers with child care. I think it was mentioned earlier that of the 48 county child welfare department proposals last year for the CCR recruitment and retention funds, a full 28 specifically asked for child care support for their caregivers as a recruitment and retention tool. The need was overwhelming, and I guess I'm paraphrasing here, but the Department of Social Services released a information notice to the counties in December of last year saying that at this time they were unwilling to support to award those child care requests. This really underscores the critical scope of the need for child care, and I think this proposal is a very targeted and incremental step in the right direction.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Jen Rexroad, and I love being a foster parent, and I plan on continuing to foster, but in order to do so, would need help with child care. If we spent nearly every dollar of the reimbursement funds that are meant to take care of the child's basic needs, we would still be out of pocket every month and upwards of $500 or more for an infant or a child under 2. If it was a SIB set, it would be double that. Our kids can't be placed in more informal situations. They need to be with licensed child care providers, which is often more expensive than other families would be able to, other options that other families would have. Many of the caregivers in our county are single parents who are working, and they would only be able to foster children if they have access to child care, especially with the subset. And caregivers oftentimes have to leave foster care or are no longer foster parents because they've exhausted all of their leave time, sick leave, and many times even go into debt just paying for child care for their placements. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Donna Gill. I'm a foster parent here in Sacramento County. If I can, I'm going to read this quickly. I've been a foster parent for 14 years. For the last 10 years, I've mostly cared for newborns, most born drug positive. I get the call the day the baby is to be released from the hospital. I've also picked up babies from the receiving home and had CPS drop off siblings after midnight. In other words, excuse me, I never know when I'm going to get a call. And until 2 months ago, I also held a full-time job. I'm now retired. Daycare is always an issue. First, finding one that has an opening. Second, one that's affordable. Daycare for infants can run anywhere from $160 a week and up. I'm one of the lucky ones who had an employer that let me bring my babies to work. But there were still times when I had an older child that I needed to find daycare and found it both frustrating and very expensive. There is no way to plan ahead because you never know when you'll get the call. Daycare cannot hold a spot for you until it's needed. I personally know several exceptional foster parents over the last 14 years that have stopped fostering because of the daycare issue. Again, like was previously stated, they've used vacation time, sick time, personal time off work in order to deal with this issue. Lack of availability and cost being the primary reasons. I want to thank you for taking the time to consider the importance of this issue.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Molly Dunn with the Alliance for Children's Rights, and I want to speak in strong support of the Child Care Bridge program for foster children. This program will allow, as you just heard, more foster parents and more relative caregivers to step up and provide loving homes to our youngest foster children. It also will allow our child welfare and child care systems to work together to better support the child care needs of our foster children. In addition, we also are expressing our support for the Chafee Education Training Voucher budget request. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my Nisha Mangrum, speaking on the child care foster children, 31 million. Once again, we're all opening our homes, looking forward to helping the children best way we can, but it's kind of hard without the funding, so I'm just here in support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, again, I'm Sherry Schroeder, and one of my hats I wear is foster care recruitment and retention for Yolo County. And I just want to say, as a person who's out and about, and I'm bringing people of interest in to be caregivers, and we're looking for quality local homes for local children, it's an immediate barrier to not have child care. Child care is just a stop guard. And in Yolo County, for a baby, a newborn, it's typically around $900 per month. The reimbursement would be in the range of $650, and so immediately you are upside down. And as we try to build capacity, build a higher standard of care, and do the best by our children who really do deserve everything that should be out there, it's an immediate stop guard. It's just so prohibitive. And so I could tell you last week we had calls that going out for newborns, and I know people that said, Sherry, I would love to take that baby, and unfortunately I can't. I can't afford it. I've already lost so much time. And just to reiterate what everyone else said, and to be down in the trenches and to see child after child where you know that you could do a great job and we just can't provide the services. And on top of all of that, I would support all of the other things that were said here today, particularly Chafee. But thank you so much for our consideration.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Sarah Ibar, and I'm here with Sherry. I also wanted to talk about with the child care. I am the sole provider in my family. My husband is disabled, but at times he has bad days, so that's when the child care would work great for our family. We want to be able to help out my nephew, who's 2 years old, be able to give him a good life, but also not be able to take from my own family. And I just wanted to, just please recognize the tremendous impact one loving caregiver can have on a child's lifetime and provide the support we need to do the important stuff. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Martha Guerrero, representing the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, and we are in strong support of the CSEC budget augmentation proposal that CWDA has presented today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Khadija Alam Javed with the Advancement Project, here in strong support of the Child Care Bridge proposal for foster children. Research that Advancement Project has done shows access to subsidized early care and education programs as a barrier, and it's especially a barrier for neglected and abused children across the state, and we feel like it's an epidemic within LA County, so we urge you to support this proposal in the budget and fully fund it, as we see this as an emergency. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Monique Ramos on behalf of First 5 LA in support of the Child Care Bridge program for foster children. We believe this is a modest proposal to a statewide program. We rely on foster families to provide loving homes in times of crisis for our children, and this is a small request in order to support those families and what they do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Kovacek, and I'm a student at CSU Chico. And as a student who receives the Chafee grant, I can attest that this funding has helped me mitigate the harsh transition into college and has afforded me the ability to graduate with a bachelor's degree, and I graduate this May. I truly believe that this is the best way we can fund our former foster youth in their success to their degrees.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, Vanessa Hernandez with California Youth Connection. We support the public health nurse ask. We believe it'll directly and positively support foster care, kids in foster care. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, I'm now representing CYC, and we would just like to say CYC strongly supports the Chafee budget increase.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Nina Gomez, and I'm here as a CSU Chico student. And for the Chafee grant, it really helped me a lot. It's helping me save for grad school, and I'm one of the few students in my freshman class that is not in debt. So I support, and hopefully you push forward this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Marina Fox. I'm the coordinator for a campus support program at Chico State. Chico State is only one of the 23 universities, the state universities in California. And at Chico State, we have 20 students who receive the Chafee grant and a number of students that are eligible for it but do not receive it because of limited funding. So I truly believe that the Chafee grant expansion is very crucial to college success and for the degree completion of foster youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Stephen Morales, and I attend Butte College. I'm part of the Inspiring Scholars. I was one of, few who received the Chafee grant, and it helped me stay on track to my goals in life and helped me become successful. And also, unlike my roommates who get financial aid help and care packages from their parents, Chafee grant was kind of like that for me, kind of like my parent who, was my backbone. And I believe to everyone, every other foster kid who gets it would be the same way. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I'm Timothy Phillips, and I'm a former foster youth within the Inspiring Scholars program. And I don't receive the Chafee grant, but I support this expansion. Yeah.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Glover, and I'm 18 years old, and I go to Butte College, the main campus, and I have received my Chafee grant, and that has helped me with bills that I have not been able to pay on my own, such as rent or my phone bill, or my truck was just in the shop and I had to pay $700 and something out of pocket to get my intake manifold fixed on my truck. And the Chafee grant has helped me, like I said, with bills that I couldn't pay on my own. So I support this.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, thank you. I'm Vance Edwards. I'm from Butte College, and with these students here, we're in support of the Chafee grant. I would like to say something that wasn't mentioned is the Chafee grant is earned by each of these students. It's tied to their academic performance. Federal standards require they need to be passing 66% of their classes with a C or better, and we have, if they're not going to class, not passing classes, they're not getting the Chafee grant. So, and thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Next speaker, please.
Amy Lemley with the John Burton Foundation wanted to express our support for the other budget proposals, the Child Care Bridge, the CSEC effort, the Child Welfare Involved Families with Homelessness, the Public Nurse, and the Child Center Permanency Services. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, Rebecca Gonzalez, National Association of Social Workers, California chapter. We're here in support of all the proposals. I can't choose. They're all good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Nicole Wortelman on behalf of the Ventura and San Bernardino Boards of Supervisors in support of the CSEC augmentation proposal.
Next speaker, please.
Susanna Niffen with Children Now, also in support of all the items. And I just wanted to say that you shouldn't be deciding if your children get health care or an education or are safe from being sexually abused. You should be finding a way to fund all of these. It's a relatively small amount of your large general fund budget. These kids should be your priority, and you should find a way to do all of this.
Amen, Susan. John Bowders, Policy Director at Californians for Safety and Justice, a co-sponsor of the Bringing Families Home Housing Initiative Ask, and a supporter and co-signee of the commercial exploitation of sexual exploitation of children augmentation request. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Dion Aroner, and I would be remiss, just as Mr. Browning said, if I didn't get up and speak about the bridge proposal, in that I have to talk to his boss on a weekly basis, and I will hear about it if I don't say something. I've been privileged to be kind of the facilitator of the discussion up here in the legislature about this proposal, and I'm very excited about the CWDA proposal because I think it could solve a lot of problems. I do want to, though, point out that nothing will guarantee that child care will be delivered, everyone. I wish we could guarantee it. We can't guarantee it, but this proposal gets us as close as we can get to ensuring that every foster parent who's in need of child care because they're working or in training, that we could possibly get them the child care that they need so that they can take the children that belong to you and me, because we as the state are responsible for them. So thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Bob Campbell on behalf of the California Alternative Payment Program Association and the Los Angeles proposal for the voucher for the 6 months. And I just want just a comment so that hopefully to the Department of Finance and LAO and the department and you members who vote and your staff, I was here for 16 years in the legislature, and for 14 and a half years I chaired the Budget Subcommittee on Education, Sub 2. And it's a daunting task for the director and others to figure out, if you add up all these proposals, how much money it's going to be. And hopefully you'll sit down and you'll work out a multi-year program, because when you add up all these monies, it's a lot of money. But they're really needed. During my day, we had 12 years, deficit years, 2 years break-even years, and 2 years we had underlying some money. So the reason these programs are in such bad shape today is we had no money. We had a $14 billion deficit one time, a 27. That's because we had creative financing in those days. We overestimated income, underestimated expenses, and so here we are today finally with some money, and these are real good programs, and hopefully you'll look at them all. But I'm here, I only can speak on behalf of the Los Angeles County, and Sheila Kuehl will be on your doorsteps along with Hilda Solis if you don't do something about it.
Thank you very much. Seeing no further speakers in the queue, that concludes this portion of the agenda. And then we'll move on to issue number 4, community care licensing, budget review, and governor's budget proposals. Staff, go ahead and please make your presentation. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And we know that the hour is getting late, so we'll be brief. I can say that your staff has already done an excellent job of outlining the issues. I'm Pat Leary. I'm a Chief Deputy Director at the Department of Social Services. And as I said, your staff has done a terrific job of putting together the agenda and laying out the issues. In general, for community care licensing, we have spent the last 4 years since we did an initial assessment of the division really trying to rebuild the foundation, and with the help of the legislature, we've been able to do that. We've added a number of resources. We've been able to restore a number of programs, quality assurance, data, things that we really never had access to before. Not only did the public not have access to data about our facilities, we didn't have good access, which made oversight extremely difficult. And now we have access to that data, as well as the public being able to go online and look up any facility in the state and find all the information that, maybe not all, but a good portion of the information that they might need to try and make a decision about whether or not to place a loved one in a facility. And with that, I'd like to introduce Pam Dickfoss, who's our Community Care Licensing Division Chief.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted to reiterate what Pat just mentioned and say how grateful we are for the positions that we've received in the last 2 years to really rebuild the program. It's helped the program tremendously, as well as helping the licensees provide them technical assistance. So we're just grateful for that, and I know that we've spent a lot of time here today in this hearing, so if you want us to quickly go through the BCPs, we'll do so.
Thank you very much.
So the first BCP is it's for our random inspections, and last year we received positions for increasing our inspections, and we made a miscalculation in our ask, and so we're asking to make a technical correction and replace the 20 positions for the random inspections. The second BCP, do you want to?
Sure. On our second one, in 2014, we changed what had been a policy of the department in terms of whether or not we allowed individuals to go to work who had a criminal record that only indicated they'd been arrested and not convicted of anything. And that had been a policy that had been implemented a number of years before that, and that allowed them to go to work, and then the investigation was completed if they needed to be removed. We recognized the risk that posed, but part of the dilemma that we had at the time was it was taking a very long time to do these investigations. So we looked at our process and we said, where can we make changes? Where can we we make this better, more efficient? And we took what was an 18-month process for most individuals, and we got it down to, for the most part, most of the individuals now, a process that can be completed within 45 days of our getting that information. In the process of doing that, we obviously had to take staff and redirect and say, okay, for now, you're going to focus on this. Stop doing what you're doing. And that has worked very well for us. We've been able to maintain it, except in our legal area where we are overburdening some of these staff to the point where it's not sustainable. We've made the change, enough of the efficiency changes in the rest of the division, but in this one area we just need a few extra resources so that we can maintain and keep it within this fairly short period of time so that we can make sure that people get to work if that's what they're going to be able to do, or we can take action if that's what we need to do.
Thank you very much.
And the third proposal is just a combination of two pieces of legislation, AB 1387, which is restructuring our appeal process. So we're asking to extend 3-year limited term positions. And the second bill was AB 601, which is providing ownership information for licensees. We're asking for a couple of staff in that proposal as well. And that's it.
Thank you. Is there any further feedback?
Thank you. Ginny Bella with the Legislative Analyst's Office. We have no issues to raise with any of the budget change proposals.
Excellent. And any further staff feedback? Thank you very much. Is there any public comment on this item? And we'll observe the same time limits of 2 minutes.
2 minutes, thank you. Mark Victoria with ASME Local 2620. We represent the licensing program analysts that work within the department and go out in the field, do the investigations. We've worked with the department over the last few years, at least since I've been here since 2013, trying to help move forward a lot of the proposals that they think that they need, and I mean, we're very supportive of them. I think one of the things that we're concerned about is what we're hearing, again, as we're the bargaining representative for the LPAs, is that the LPAs come in, they go through the new 4-week academy, and we're seeing a lot of them then leave shortly afterwards. I mean, we've got some fairly high turnover rates. If you ask the department, I think they may be able to back those numbers up. And I think one of the biggest concerns is you can go in, become an LPA, spend 3 months there, transfer either out of the department or out of the classification and into another classification and get roughly a 10 to 15% pay raise sitting behind a desk, not having to go out into the field and understand all the regulations that an LPA needs to know. So I think that, especially, I think, Mike, our concern is, especially as we move forward into 2017, where we go from 5 years to 3 years and then 2018, is that if we can't retain these LPAs, we're never going to be able to meet legislative requirements that you guys have set over the last few years. So just a concern for us. We want to work with the department, make sure that, we're able to do. Our LPAs are very proud to be out there. They're very happy to be in the fields and do the work. And they just want to make sure that they're able to do that successfully. And with high turnover rates, it's very challenging. We're never going to be able to meet legislative intent that was set forth. So it's our concern there.
Thank you very much. Is there any further public comment? Seeing none, let me check in. Is there any further part of the agenda? Well, seeing that, then we are adjourned. Thank you very much all for your participation.